Welcome to Crime in Court. My name is Heather, and this is an update in the Delphi case. As you may or may not be aware, jury selection had been underway earlier this week. They have selected a jury. That's kind of where we're at this point. The jury has been sworn in, so we've got some announcements about what's going on at trial and some orders that have recently come down from Judge Gull with the motions that have been pending. Some of them we're still waiting on. So let's begin. Please hit that like button if you don't mind. I would surely appreciate it. All right. So the first document that I'm going to read through is the order from the court regarding the incorporating the evidence. If you recall, the defense filed a motion wanting to incorporate all of that evidence, all of that testimony, especially from Dawn Perlmutter, who is the Odinist expert, and all the other really suspicious things that have been happening came out in some of that testimony. So they had filed a motion asking if that could be entered as evidence to be offered for an offer of proof, basically meaning this is kind of, in good faith, this is what we're saying our witnesses will say if you allow us to bring them to trial to ever testify. So here is what Judge Gull says. The court, having had defendant's motion to incorporate evidence presented at the August 1st pretrial hearing into offer of proof at trial, now grants the motion without hearing. So she granted it, which I'm surprised she actually granted it. I'm sure all of us, this is a win. This is a big win for the defense because they don't have to reiterate all of that again with Judge Gull and Nick McClelland. They don't have to weed through all of that. They can kind of hit home and get to the point faster with their evidence, and if they're allowed to bring it in. So hopefully they're able to present and then bring certain witnesses in. But that is a certainly a win. Um, Defendant is authorized to incorporate the evidence admitted at the August 1st hearing on the state's motion in limine regarding alleged third party suspects and alleged connections to the Norse pagan religion and the Odin religion as an offer of proof regarding the issue at trial for purposes of judicial economy. And this sentence right here, that part of the sentence for purposes of judicial economy makes me think that she's only granting this order so she can later down the line say, no, you're not bringing any of that in, which I kind of think is what she's going to do, but we'll see. So that is that order, short, sweet, simple, to the point, that came out on the 16th. Here's another order. When did this one come out? Also the 16th. They all came out, there were like a bunch all in a row, so I wanted to wait to get them all together so I could present them to you in a clear and concise way instead of a bunch of short little videos. So this is the order of judgment for the News Media Coalition. So a bunch of media got together, formed a coalition, and said, we would like access to the exhibits of this trial. So here is her response to that. The court, having had the News Media Coalition's motion to inspect public trial exhibits filed September 30th under advisement, now issues its order addressing the media's complaints as follows. The hearing, conducted in Carroll Circuit Court on July 30th through August 1st, of this year, was open to the public and the media, and in fact attended by members of the media as well as the public. At said hearing, well over 1,000 pages of exhibits, documents, and photographs were submitted by the parties in support of their respective positions. At the conclusion of the hearing on August 1st, the court took mash the two together. The court took the matter under advisement. The court indicated it would take approximately 30 days to issue its rulings on the multiple motions which were heard. The media immediately on August 2nd, 2024, demanded access to the exhibits This was an unreasonable request as the court had just taken the matter under advisement. All right, then. So that was unreasonable for you to ask. um, she just told you she was taking it under advisement the previous day, and the court needed absolute access to the exhibits to review and make a ruling. The court would note that the homicide case is one of over 300 pending cases on this court's docket, with approximately 30 of those cases being homicide cases. The court and the court reporter have worked into the evenings and on weekends to comply with the demands made by the media. We are working our little tails off more hours a week than we should for you, and we're sick of it. Or we want some acknowledgement for it. Why else would she put that in there? Of the well over 1,000 pages of exhibits, documents, and photographs, several of the photographs were admitted into evidence as, quote, confidential by agreement of the parties due to the extremely graphic nature of the photographs. The court has identified dozens of exhibits which are not accessible to the media or the public as they contain employment personnel records, medical records, mental health records, financial bank records, records containing social security numbers and dates of birth, autopsy reports, work product of counsel, depositions containing confidential exhibits, and reports which were marked by the creator of the report as confidential. Why is there so much that is secret in this case? I just don't understand. The court has obtained the services of a senior judge to supervise the review of those exhibits. She's assigning a senior judge to supervise all of the exhibits that the media are going to look at. How much is that costing the county? The senior judge, Mary Ann Voorhees, has indicated she will make the exhibits available to the media on Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024 at 10 a.m. at a location in the Allen County Courthouse located in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The media is also demanding access to the exhibits, which will be introduced at the trial commencing October 18th through November 15th. At the conclusion of each trial day, the court will allow the media access to those exhibits for 15 minutes. 15 minutes is all you get, guys. 15 minutes. So she's allowing them access to the exhibits, but it's only on her time and her dime and her she's going to put all the parameters on it and make it inconvenient and nearly impossible to really obtain much, especially if there's hundreds of exhibits on a day. There could be maybe not hundreds, but within one exhibit, there could be like 100 photos or something, and exhibits one through blah, blah. So that might be difficult for the media to get through in just 15 minutes. So is she making this as deliberately difficult as possible? I don't know. All right, so I skipped right over the decorum. So we've got an addendum to the courthouse management and decorum order for jury trial October 18th through the 15th, which is the Richard Allen trial. Pursuant to the court's inherent authority to manage the courtroom to ensure a fair trial and to ensure access to the public and the media, the court issues this addendum to the decorum order dated September 30th. We read through that in a previous video on my channel. Number one, the public and the media are reminded that no food or beverages will be permitted in the Carroll Circuit courtroom. Don't bring your waters even. You must waste away from thirst. Number two, the public and the media are reminded that no electronic devices of any kind are permitted in the Carroll County Courthouse during the pendency of the trial. So if you are attending, you cannot bring your phone, laptop, nothing. If you're a reporter and you're attending, you must use one of these and a pad of paper. You need a pen and paper. That's the only way that we're getting our news to reported back to us from the very brave and diligently writing note individuals that are um, attending. All right, so where was I? 3 press passes to the trial will be distributed at 3 p.m. on October 17th. So that is today. She's meeting with the media in the Carroll Circuit courtroom. The 12 press passes will be provided to representatives of the Delphi Trial Media Coalition as organized by Cindy Hebert, WTHR, and some other entity on behalf of news media as defined in Indiana Code 34664. Number 1, the press who meets the IC 344641 definition is invited to contact Ms. Hebert by email to join their coalition to be part of the news pool. So if you want to get added, that's what you got to do. It skipped from 1 to 4. I don't know why they labeled that one. I think it was -1 and it went on to the next. Sorry. Oh, okay, confusing. Our number 4, disputes among media are previously addressed by the court's September 30th order. So it said in her previous order, in her decorum order, that if there was some kind of a dispute regarding who gets in on what day, she's leaving that up to the media to decide, and she doesn't really want anything to do with that. Just like she doesn't want anything to do with having this trial recorded, audio or video, none of that. She does not want. I wonder if the transcripts even going to be available in this trial because she is so adamant against it, against making this transparent so that we can find the truth. So this is a media request from an Erica Fossey, I'm not really sure, from Wish TV. Okay, so this is her media request. She wanted to know if she could get either still photography, video, audio recording, and she's requesting that she is capable of providing a pool feed if necessary. If no one else is doing it, she's like, "Hey, I can provide that feature." And what do you guys think she said? The court has received a request for a recording of court proceedings by news media from Erica Fossey, Wish TV, and denies the same. Why do I have to always put this? I always have to switch it every single time. All right, so she denied it. She denies the motion. There have been so many people requesting pretty much the same thing as Erica from Wish TV, and she has denied everyone without a hearing. It is awful what she's doing there. She's supposed to be a pioneer, by the way. Judge Gull is supposed to be a pioneer in piloting programs that allowed for camera in courtrooms to create more transparency. She's part of that program in her county, and yet the only time she wanted cameras in the courtroom was when she was about to humiliate Richard Allen's attorneys on live TV if they didn't decide that they were going to recuse themselves and withdraw from representation, which, as we know, now Brad Rosie didn't actually do it. He said he was going to, and he didn't, and he stayed on and fought hard, and then it got brought to the Superior Court. It was appealed, and they were brought back on. All right, so the next thing here we have a certificate of appearance. If you remember, we went over a motion where the defense asked for basically for the judge to say, hey, we want you to subpoena Dr. Walla to come and testify in trial on the defense, or, for the defense, because the defense is calling her. So they want her brought in, and she agreed. She is granting that request and bringing Dr. Walla in for testimony. Isn't it interesting that the state's not calling Dr. Walla? the therapist that was treating Richard Allen when he was having his months-long psychoses and being treated by her with involuntary hallucinogenic medicine being injected and orally taken. This guy was drugged up and confessing to things like he took the lives of all of his grandchildren, well, and his whole family. He obviously didn't do that. None of his family members are missing or gone. He did not do that, and he doesn't even have grandchildren. So this is one of the confessions that the state is trying to put forward when obviously he was in a clear state of psychosis. He's saying things like that. But anyways, so she is granting the appearance, and Dr. Walla will be testifying for the defense, not the state, which is she was employed by a company that the DOC contracted with. So there's that. So they should be liable, I would think, of her actions because they hired that company. They had the contract with them. Somebody's got to be liable. That company and the DOC have some answering to do. Saying we've got some questions. So here are just a few updates. This is going to be quick, and then that'll be that for today. I imagine there's going to be even more updates coming in as I speak. I just can't keep up because there's so many. I'm trying to look, and there are more, but mm, I don't know. I can't put it all. Let's stick to this. I'm trying to keep you guys as up to date as possible because I know things keep changing minute by minute here. So, anyways, as I record this, it is October 17th. So, the Defense Diaries, who is boots on the ground reporting from there, he is trying to attend the trial as often as he can. He's going to, I believe, be staying there the entire 6 weeks of trial. Uh, Bob Mata is his name with the Defense Diaries. They have a podcast, him and his wife, Allie, who I think she's just so brilliant. I love hearing her talk just about anything when it comes to the law. She's awesome. Anyways, so Bob Mata is attending, and he says jury is getting sworn in this morning. First thing, multiple motions in limine will be argued. Most significantly is the state's motion to bar the composite sketches from being introduced. You might remember that we read through that motion in limine that dropped while in the process of jury voir dire. The state is saying, oh, by the way, those sketches that we've been having you guys look at for 7 years and trying to give us tips as to who those people are because those are the perpetrators. This is what we've been told from all of the law enforcement. Now we're being told by the prosecution, oh, we're just going to forget that those sketches even exist. Let's take them out. So she has yet to rule on this. He says, I don't expect us to be in court very long today. I'll keep y'all updated. Next update we have is from Kyla Russell. I believe she's local news. She might be with Wish News 8, it looks like. All right, so she says, new on the prosecution's motion for the composite sketches not to be seen by the jury. A witness testified today in court saying that he had helped in drawing a sketch, but it is not clear if he is the artist for any of the two sketches released in 2017 and 2019. This is odd because we know that the first sketch was Betsy Blair. No, now I can't remember. We just went over it. Hold on. All right, I'm glad I checked. The first sketch, sketch one, which is the older looking gentleman, was created, we thought, from eyewitness statements from Sarah Harbaugh, and this came out July 2017. The second sketch of the younger guy was created from the descriptions from Betsy Blair, who She was like adamant this was one of the guys, and she was angry because this came out second, and she knew that she was. This first sketch came out, and she was like, "Who is that guy? That isn't one of the people that I saw." And she had given them these descriptions long before it came out. It comes out April 2019, so 2 years later almost. And finally, I think because of pressure from Betsy Blair to law enforcement, it finally did come out and they released it to say, hey, this might be another suspect or someone who knows something, blah, 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 blah. So, but then at some point, Doug Carter was like, well, it's just the two of them combined, and that's who is Rick Allen. What? That makes no sense. But anyway, so that is, as we know, uh, what was I saying? It's interesting because this particular juror or witness, whoever this was that testified today on the stand, is a male. So we know both of the sketches were created from female descriptions. Were there some males that were included in that? Were there some males that saw some people that we don't even know about? Do we have descriptions or what? Like, who was the guy? If he was maybe the sketch artist, that's different. But why would they just bring in the sketch artist just to say he helped? You know, it's weird. Yeah, he wouldn't say he helped. He would have said he did it, I would think. But anyways, um, yeah, I think two different sketch artists probably created these two, or maybe not, but definitely two different. They are the image of two different people for sure. All right, so it was a man that testified, which I find interesting. Gull said that she would take things under advisement and have a decision tomorrow morning regarding the sketches. So, one last update, actually, two. This last one is the Carroll County Council. This is Bob Siegel from WTHR, local media. The Carroll County Council has unanimously approved an additional 2.2 million for the Delphi trial expenses. That's in addition to the original 2.1 million approved last year. Why is it so much? It means the trial will cost every Carroll County resident approximately $200. Let's put that in perspective. Carroll County budgeted 9.4 million for its 2024 budget. It has now budgeted an extra 4.3 million in that general budget solely for trial expenses. 2.1 million original plus 2.3 million today. It's an astronomical amount for a county of roughly 20,000 residents, he says. Continues on saying, a county counselor told me they've been saving up for unexpected expenses like these, but still says the expenditure is rough. So even though they've been waiting for or saving for something were to occur where they needed more money, they've been saving for that, but it still is not covering them. He says they cannot cut corners and want to ensure the trial is professional and both sides have adequate money. That was the end of his quotes. So those are some updates right now. Um, Trying to see if there is anything more recent as I am recording this. I don't think so. Um, Oh, here. Okay, so a retired FBI forensic artist who compiled one of the sketches testified that they weren't meant for court to identify someone who has been charged. Okay, so that's the sneaky little BS that they're trying to pull here. I'm going to read this person's text. You know what? Hold on. I'll pull up their account on Twitter. All right, I lied. There's a few more updates. So So here, I only pulled this up to tell you that the jury is, oh, let me shrink myself. This particular tweet is from Angela Ganote. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but she is local news, and she says the jury is comprised of 8 women and 4 men. So I just thought that was interesting that I report that back to you. And lastly, uh, this has all the updates from today. So whoops, that might be that's good. All right, so this is a Dave Bangert, which was reposted by R&M Productions. R&M is great. She's been busting her butt and really like getting out updates quickly on X. If you guys want really fast updates, she's been good. All right, so Dave Bangert says Delphi homicides trial update. Prosecutors urged in Allen Superior Court to keep police sketches of the bridge guy out of the trial of Richard Allen, the man accused of taking Abby and Libby, taking their lives in 2017. Prosecutors made a case that the sketches weren't used to ID Richard Allen and wanted to head off assumed plans of them being introduced in defense's opening statements Friday and imprinting on jurors. So he wants to cut it off before the defense does bring them in. He wants to say, nope, let's not do that because these weren't meant for trial. Why? It's evidence. Who says it's not meant for trial? Who gives a flying F if that even is, if that's what this forensics FBI artist says? A retired FBI forensic artist who compiled one of the sketches testified that they weren't meant for court to identify someone who has been charged. Why? Allen's attorneys ask, this is paraphrased, what the question is that because the sketches don't look like Richard Allen? He says, is that so the attorneys ask something along the lines, why do they want to cut it off? Is it because the sketches don't look like Richard Allen? Judge Gull takes matter under advisement and said she would rule by Friday morning when the trial begins in earnest in Carroll County. Also in play or argued this morning, sorry, can the defense keep a metallurgist on the witness list to challenge the reliability of matching tool markings on an unspent bullet casing that was near the girls' bodies? Judge will rule on that later, as we said. And plus guards and inmates from prison where Richard Allen had been held and watched or reported on his movements and talk what he was saying. They may testify. Allen's attorneys had argued that they weren't experts who could address his mental health. That is absolutely a valid argument, and they should not be there to assess his um, ability to even know what he was saying. So I don't I don't give them a whole lot of credit. These like prison watchers, whatever they were called, the people that would sit and just watch him, his movements and report on it. Finally, the last update here is one more list early in my notes. I don't know what this guy is saying. Okay, so Allen's attorneys pull their motion to have the jury tour the crime scene at Monon High Bridge and the Monon High Bridge area. So remember, the defense filed a motion to bring the jury to the crime scene and the surrounding areas. They decided to withdraw that motion today. So not really sure why. We know that the jury was sworn in this morning, so that means that double jeopardy is now attached if for some reason he gets acquitted tomorrow. Double jeopardy attaches and they can't come after him again. So the jury was sworn in and they are headed to a hotel near Delphi where they will be sequestered through mid-November. Remember, the trial ends November 15th. It is October 17th. They are going to be hidden away in a hotel for a month. That is a long time. Um, and probably pretty boring, I would assume. But anyways, that is what I have for you. And opening statements, I believe, begin tomorrow, Friday, the 18th. So we will see what people report back on that. So hopefully we have some good note takers, and by the weekend we'll have some really good updates for you guys. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye now.